Andy here. Today we're going to check out how the online auction process works in Japan. This video is a little bit longer than the other ones I've done, but stick with me, I'm sure you'll find some gold in here. Now this is the place where I get to choose my vehicles that I want to bid on each day. You've got all these different options. You've got the conditions available there, you can see them all there. Transmissions, you've got heaps of others, and today we're going to look at the Thursday auctions where you can see there's 29,000 listings. We're going to look at some pre-selected options. We're going to check out the Mazdas today. Let's go search. Sweet, so as you can see there's loads of FD RX-7s and FC RX-7s for sale. Various conditions and at various auction houses. You can see there it's got all the auction houses there listed and auction numbers. And over here the grade. So I only bid from condition 3 upwards. Today we're going to check out a grade 3 and grade 4 RX-7. I'll show you guys the differences. So here's a grade 3. You can look at the picture, it looks fairly tidy. Reasonable condition, but it's got this XX marking which resembles that there's been a guard replacement. And that's something, it's a red flag for me and I'll totally stay away from that. Could have issues with compliance when it comes in. Check out the photos. All pretty good. Now we're going to check out the grade 4. So this thing's done 55,000 Ks, which is considered really low. You see it's got an XX on the bonnet as well, but that's only because it's a carbon fiber bonnet, so it potentially hasn't had the crash damage there, hence they've just replaced it and it's been marked as XX. So this one looks really tidy. I can imagine this will go for some big money, being 2001, 60, 70K. Great, now we're going to go check out some Nissans. So I've got a pre-selected option, we're going to go search, see what pops up, look at some cool cars. This is always exciting, every single day I get to check out some pretty awesome, unique, classic cars. Look at them all, loads of fair ladies, heading down to, what do we have? We've got some Silvias, loads of Silvias. Look at all the Skylines, we've got loads of R34s here. Pretty awesome. And now we're into the GTRs. Check them out. This is pretty normal for a Thursday to have this many GTRs for sale. See, they vary from a number of different Ks. On the clock, you got a few GTS-Ts, GTS4. I'm definitely going to be checking some of these ones out. This is going to be hopefully a pretty good day for me. We've got more R34s. That is cool, a GTS-R, R31. Some more GTRs. Loads of GTRs. This is awesome. I love this manual stage here. I'm really looking forward to checking that one out. Something I'm definitely after. And this other one's interesting, the Safiro A31 4-wheel drive, I guess. I mean, it looks pretty tidy for what it is. Looks nice in that white, must say. Really tidy. Let's check out the auction sheet. So yes, it is a 4-wheel drive. You can see it's circled over there. SE4, definitely these don't come up much. Got the chassis number there, part of it's cut off. Here's all the auction comments on the body. Not too bad, seems alright. Well, it looks straight in the photos, but it's pretty hard to tell in the photos, they're not the greatest. Now we're going to check out a site called partsvan.com. The frame number is the chassis number, and so we're just going to go back to the auction, just go get that frame number, chassis number, LNA31, and chuck it in there. And we're just going to chuck in the chassis number. This is pretty cool because it gives us information about the vehicle. Go search. I only found out about this probably I think earlier this year. This is really cool. So you got all the details about the vehicle, the build year. There you go, RB20DT, but it is a DET. Sometimes they miss the E's out. It's a 4-wheel drive, 2-litre turbo, so this is pretty cool. I'm definitely going to check this one out and get it inspected and hopefully bid. Right, now we're going to check out some of the vehicles that I've bidded on. So you can see them all there. Got an R34 I'm looking at today, GDR 33, we've got an Aristo. We're checking out that Safiro that I showed you guys just before. Got a few GDRs. The reason I got so many maybe GDRs, and it's not like I'm going to buy them all, just that a lot of them might not be any good. And you can see some comments have already come through. That one sounds horrible. That Evo 3 checking out, no good. Another GDR is no good. Another GTR is no good. It's pretty common to see sill bottom damage and chassis damage and engine rust on some of these. Right, now we're going to check out the auction inspection sheet. So here we go, we've got all the different markings down on the left, and they range from a 1, 2 and 3, 1 being not so bad, 2 being worse and 3 being pretty bad. So probably a good time to pause the video and read over those. You can see the XXs there, replacement panels which I talked about before. There's a W2 there, maybe a frontal impact around that side. Probably getting that checked out if I was looking at that vehicle. You got A1s and UA1s and new ones. The A1s are the light scratches and U1s are light dents. So UA just means that there's a dent and a little scratch. So just take time just to look over them. This is what I do daily on the vehicles. I'll be checking them over. All the little markings there. Here we got a reply from my agent. The inspectors in Japan have checked it out and they've given some comments. I mean, they don't sound amazing. See some photos here. See some rust on the chassis and some corrosion. That's not a great sign. Odometer's not working properly. That's not probably too bad. Those pillar gauge speaker mounts, they're alright. A little bit of paint it looks like underneath. We'll have to check out some bigger photos to see what it's like. Alrighty, so the engine bay looks okay. Nothing jumps out at me there. Easy fixes. There's a bit of rust there, that could be bad. That's not great. Don't know how bad that would have been. And the odometer, I mean, that probably would be fixed. Not a major. Roof lining's a little saggy, that's alright. Pretty common on the Stagias. You'll definitely be removing those. I don't quite like those. There's some sill damage that's repairable but not amazing, especially with the other damage that's around with the rust. Surface rust, that's okay, it can get cleaned up. But paint is something not the greatest because it could be hiding other things like corrosion and rust. That tow bar, some rust, I mean, you can just rip the tow bar off, it's no biggie. But definitely paint, you got to be careful when there's paint underneath. A little bit's okay, but when there's excessive, it's not. We'll check out a few skylines we got checked out and see the chassis rail doesn't look amazing. Doesn't look tidy, it's a bit of paint there as well. Interior is okay on this GDR. But those chassis rails are a bit of a concern. Look at that sill. This is very common that the skylines have sill damage like that. Not pretty. It's annoying because the cars sound good and then they have rust like this on the firewall. I mean, this would just get flagged at the border and cause problems over here. Parts of it are okay, but that rust and corrosion is not good. I definitely would be staying away from it, especially when you're spending up to 80k on one of these or more. You don't want to waste your money on one and then get a massive repair cert bill or even unfixable. Now here's the next skyline. Look at that. Doesn't look too nice. This is a GDST. That's not major, it's not too bad. The engine looks tidy, looks clean. Definitely a clean example. But look at that chassis. It's like bent, been pushed up. I mean, it can be fixed, just got a repair cert. I'm just not wanting to do it on this one. Bit of paint underneath as well. Cool little GDIR Pulsar. I got checked out. It has heaps of marks over it. I mean, all this stuff's easily fixable, but look at that chassis rail. It's like butter, bent up. Yeah, it doesn't look good underneath. This is why it's so important to get photos of the vehicle, despite what the auction sheets say. I mean, there's all this rust underneath. Underneath is painted. It's corrosion. Yeah, look at the scratches. I mean, scratches are fine, but yeah, they're paint. There's a lot of paint and corrosion damage. The chassis rails are damaged. I mean, these little marks are fine, but it looks cool. Like, it's a cool little car, but it won't be one that I'll be buying today, unfortunately. I'll find a cleaner example. The engine looks fine. Interior's all good. Nothing kind of jumps out at me there, but it's definitely underneath is not what I'm after, so I'll definitely be passing on this one. Here we have a Toyota Aristo. This thing's done 80,000 Ks. I found out the next day that I ended up winning this one. It's actually pretty tidy. It's not too bad, but out of all the vehicles I did bid on and ended up inspecting, this was the only one I think that I ended up telling them to follow through with the bid. It means a little bit of paint, but it's very minor compared to some of the other ones we saw. It's not really any bad damage on it. There's a little knock, I think, on the sill, but it's very, very minor. There you go, you can see it, it's very minor. Very minor, it's easy to touch up. It shouldn't get a repair set on something like that, it just needs a quick touch up on. The engine's tidy, and so yeah, I'm pretty happy with that one. It's going to be here in a few months, so we're good to see it. And just an update on that Zafiro, unfortunately I didn't win it. I didn't actually bid for it because it had major rust, I was told. So it sucks, but I'll find a better example in the future. Here's another conversation I've had with my agent. You can see I've had some vehicles translated. So he's got colour change, meter change, and spare wheelhouse rust. I don't like colour change, so I'm cancelling that one. Next is a Type R that I'm checking out. The comments sound okay. Besides that rear panel distortion, I'll definitely have to get that inspected to find out more. And we've got the Silver here. Again, it's got some rear potential damage, which I need to get inspected and double checked. And the S13, this is really cool. Muffler corrosion's not a big thing, and underbody rust could be minor, so definitely keen to get that checked out as well. Here we have the S15 that's been inspected by the agent, and you can see, I mean, the interior looks good, looks tidy. Yeah, that's reasonable, looks good. A little bit of wear, that's nothing major. Looks good. I mean, you can see they send through quite a few photos, which is really helpful when you're kind of making a decision to buy a car. A little bit of surface rust, nothing scary. That's fine, they can get cleaned up. That's weird. Some dodgy welding or marking there. Definitely a bit of concern, that's not great. The car looks okay, but I just wasn't keen on what I just saw. Underneath looks okay. A bit of rust, yeah, that's not good. A little bit of corrosion we saw. Engine looks good. Like, the car looks cool. This is the thing, the cars can look cool and the photos look really good, but there's some hidden damage to this thing, and I've been told by the agent, yeah, there is some bad damage to it, so I'm gonna pass. So next up is the Subaru Type R. And let's check it out. So the interior looks really good, really clean, as it would do for 122,000 Ks on the clock. Looks good, nice. That's a lot of paint underneath. You can see that's covered compared to that Aristo earlier. That's quite thick paint, and that corrosion's really not good either. That's a concern. Not very promising now. Yeah, there's a lot of paint. A lot of paint marks. Looks like a leak, potentially. When there's rust on the brackets, it's not a big deal at all. You can get that cleaned up easy, but the chassis is not good. But like, you can see there's lots of hidden, like, kind of lots of rust around there. Lots of different marks. For me, I think there'll be other hidden rusts around, and I think it's best for me to leave this, especially with the amount of paint that's around as well. Well, the car looks cool. I really like the car. There's a little bit of paint damage as well, but nah, I'll pass. Next up is a car that I've been waiting for, the S13. This thing's a K Silvia, and it's got the CA18 turbo motor in, 5-speed manual. Looks pretty good, so far, so good. Again, look at the paint. There's just so much paint under that thing. You can see that's probably thicker than that Subaru. The muffler corrosion's nothing, but yeah, you can see there's just rust. I mean, it's probably, that paint is probably covering up a heck of a lot of rust, and that would just get flagged at the border, and again, could be major. It might not even get complied over here, so I mean, I'm not going to be risking it. It's definitely, I mean, that stuff's real minor there, but that paint is the biggest concern, and yeah, I don't bid on cars that have that amount of paint on it. That's just way too much. There could be some major rust damage going on there. And the seat damage, I mean, you can get that fixed, just doesn't look great. Yeah, I'm going to pass on this one as well, unfortunately. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you learned something from it, and I'll catch you guys later.